Hey, what's going on YouTube? Aura Storm here with another video today talking about Dimensions of Chaos. The set list has pretty much been fully revealed with the sneak peek tomorrow. I thought I'd go ahead and bring you guys kind of a set list to kind of you can get an idea of what the rarities are and what you can expect when you go to your sneak peeks tomorrow. The official set release date is a week from today, November the 6th. So with that out of the way, let's go and get to it. So we have some new Performance Pal cards. I mean, Mammoth Splash is the monster Yugioh uses to fusion summon. It's not usually played in a lot of builds. I think Second Donkey is kind of like a search card. I'm not really sure a lot about it. I know Help Princess is sort of like a Kage Tokage for Performance Pals. I think in some of the OCG Mages and Pals lists, it's played at 1, but I don't really find it to be totally necessary, to be honest. But to each his own. We got a bunch of super heavy samurai support. Apparently one of them is a tuner, so more tuners is always nice. Fluffle Wings is a common. I'm honestly kind of surprised. I thought, at least we'd get a few more Fluffle Hollows, but not in this set. Fluffle Wings is still a really, really powerful card. However, the Fusion Monster is a high rarity, so be happy, Fluffle players. And we're actually getting some of the DDD monsters. And in this set, there's quite a few of them in this set. I think we're getting most of the OCG stuff outside of, I think we're missing some of the, we're missing one of the fusions, and we're still missing the Synchro Monster and the Tuner and one of the other level 4s. But this is at least a start. I think at this point we might be able to play DDDs as a standalone deck decently. It won't be anything, but it'll be playable. So we've got DD format. This is basically like the level changer. When you special summon one back to the graveyard, you can change the other one's level. Swirl Slime sort of like a poly from the hand. Necro Slime's like a Miracle Fusion. You got the new Raid Raptor monsters. I believe these are the level 3s. I could be wrong, but don't think they're going to see a ton of play. We have the new Perform Mage Pendulum monsters. Plush Fire in particular is probably a card you want to get your hands on. It's really Conductor's usually played at 2 of in a lot of the OCG Mages and Paladins. Plush Fire is a key card in the whole combo, so I suggest kick up your Plush Fires while you can. We've got Legendary Fisherman 3 is a super rare. That's pretty nice for some of the legacy support. We're still missing the Empowered Warrior card. One of them is actually able to search Legendary Fisherman, so we're missing that card currently. So I still think it's for legacy players, it's nice to have a high rarity card, right? One of the new Blackwing monsters is in this set. There's 2 new extra deck monsters, Synchro and this monster. This is a Charging Gaia, the Fierce Knight. This is one of the Gaia monsters because the new BLS deck, when you'll see this when I profile it next week, it's Gaia. You can run it with the level 4s, but I feel like the most consistent maybe not consistent is the right word, but where you get the most advantage is off the level 7 kind of 1 variant with the Karibos. And that's where the Gaia cards come in. That's really nice to see these Gaia. Then we have Super Soldier Soul. These are some of the BLS supports, Beginning Night, Evening Twilight Night. This is one of the new Pendulum monsters, Vector Pendulum, the Draco Overlord. I think this is, I can't remember which one this is. I think this is the one that's like a skill drain for Pendulum monsters. Now we're having some of the dreaded Radiospectors. Honestly, I expected them to be a little bit more high rarity than they are. I expected, at least one secret rare, but Cat is the one I kind of expect to be secret rare, but Cat's a super. I called Raccoon being an ultra a while back. Crow and Fox are both commons. Unicorn is rare. Typically, you don't only play like a couple copies of Unicorn in maybe 2 maximum. So, our final 2 Ignite monsters as well. I believe one of them is a level 5, the other is a level 6. So, you Ignite players can finally balance out your scales with some of the high level stuff. Now we're getting some of the Gradle stuff. Surprisingly, a lot of the Gradle cards were not rarity bumped, although I'm not shocked because I feel like Gradles are a pretty decent deck. They kind of remind me a lot of Yang Zings. They start off kind of slow, but they get moving. Skilled Red Magician, one of my Twitch mods mentioned this card. Giant Parafish, I haven't read this card. Toon Barrel Dragon, I think it's one of the new Toon monsters. Despot 006, this is I think the other Pendulum monster Despots are getting. One of the short prints is Pot of the Forbidden. If you don't know what this card is, it's Pot of Taboos. It's usually one of the key cards in Prediction Princesses. And even with the recent Shadal hits on the ban list, I still think you can play Prediction Princess Shadals, and it can still be pretty decent even without Construct. Because for the most part, you were going to make Shekanaga anyways, because Shekanaga can send potted to boost the graveyard, and then you contribute off Shek for the summon of the ritual monster. So it's a short print though, but I don't typically, if you look at the previous set, it's not that difficult to get a hold of the short prints. This is not like I don't think this is gonna be like a Vanity's Emptiness type situation. And this is the new BLS boss monster for the deck. It's one of the last ultimate rares. I think there's 4 ultimate rares in this, 5. I think 5 ultimate rares in this set. Um, probably a good choice for legacy BLS players. You know, who are going to want to get their hands on this new support. Fright for Sabretooth is a name change is retarded, but it's an ultra rare, so you Fluffle players are getting some more shiny cards, which is always nice. A DDD Wave, Oblivion King Kaiser Ragnarok. I believe this is one of the level 8s. I think we're still missing the other level 8 if I'm not totally mistaken. So, you know, I still think the deck's got a long way to go to viability. It's playable now, but not viable. You're getting Odd Eyes Vortex Dragon is a secret, and it's one of the last 5 ultimate rares. Good at least to see it in 2 rarities for you Odd Eyes players out there. So it's probably one of the cards you're going to want to get your hands on for the structure deck later this year. So at least you can get it in multiple rarities, so maybe it won't be as expensive. And the last ghost rare, and one of the last ultimates, is Scarlet Red Dragon Archfiend. This is the cover card. I'm not entirely surprised. I think honestly, I didn't see anything else in this set being a ghost rare other than maybe Vortex Dragon. I don't have a problem with this. I think the card is really, really good for it's more Legacy Synchro support, which is always good in my book. I really like the card because it just blow up like all your opponent's monsters, and it doesn't have any restrictions like Hot Red Dragon Archfiend does. It's a really, really good card. Now we have Assault Blackwing Valkyrie, the Rain Shower. This is the new Synchro monster. It's basically a Ritual Beast Steeds for Blackwings. Having it as an ultimate rare is really nice. You know, at least I like that they're giving. And one of the last ultimate rares is going to be a Blackwing monster. Although we're going to see more ultimate rares in the Astral packs. Great Old Dragon is their Synchro monster. Pretty much where they're most of their just it's one of their biggest power plays. So it's a super rare. And then we have Despot Jet. I think this is one of the new Despot cards. Haven't read a lot about it. This is the the rank 8 XYZ that DDDs go into. It's a really powerful card. Like, if you haven't read this card, it's definitely, be glad it's not generic. This is one of the new Raid I think this is the rank 3 Exceed that Raid Raptors are getting. One of the last ultimates is also Magister Paladin, the Ascending Draco Slayer. Not a surprise, it's more generic Pendulum support, and people are going to want to get their hands on it. It's a really good card for any Pendulum deck. So I feel like it's a really powerful card for Pendulum decks, and I feel like it's good support for Pendulum decks. So some more Raid Raptor stuff. This is the new Ritual spell, I believe, for BLS. This is the new field spell. It's really good field spell because not only does it search out your ritual monsters on activation, it can also add any ritual spell from your deck to your hand, which is pretty dang nice. Magister Storm, and this is more Magispector. Cyclone is a super rare. I kind of expected rarity bumps on a lot of the Magispector cards, and several of them did get the bump. Ignite Reload being an Ultra, not entirely surprised because this card is generic Pendulum support, so much like Magister Paladin, expecting it to be anything lower than Ultra is you're kind of kidding yourself. If you don't know what this card does, basically you activate, it's a quick play spell card, you activate it and it shuffles. You can shuffle as many, it's kind of like a Magic Mallet, except you draw one card, but you can't draw anything else the rest of the turn. It's pretty decent, and it's not, especially with Rhoda going to 1, I feel like it's kind of unnecessary, kind of like place the Rhodas with this card to kind of get your consistency going. Sometimes you can get a little cloggy hands, so there you go. Gradle Impact is a common. Kind of surprised. I feel like this card was the one that if Gradles did get something rarity bump, this was it, because it's their. Not only can you add any Gradle card from your hand on your end phase, you can also, it works really well with Alligator. Odd Eyes Fusion is a secret rare. I was kind of surprised it got such. I believe it was a super rare in the OCG. That's a pretty massive rarity bump, and I think it's going to be decently expensive because it only comes in this one rarity, and I think it's kind of silly when we have like 8 secret rares that this is the ones that made the cut. And we have some more. We have Fright for March is a common. I kind of wish this guy was a super rare, but I won't complain. At least we're getting it. Now we're getting a lot of the new DDD cards. I believe this is their Royal Decree. And there's some more Dark Contract cards. Magispector Tornado, I think that's the trap card that banishes. Great Old Parasite was the one that really surprised me that they bumped Parasite, because Parasite's not even a 3 of in the deck. It's usually played at 2. Split and Impact are the 3 of, so I've kind of surprised they bumped that. Urgent Ritual Art is a secret rare. I'm really kind of surprised considering Necros got the hit that Ritual Art, this card's a secret rare. It didn't really need to be, and there's not a lot of decks that are really going to use the card, so if you guys are looking, playing something like Herald, some kind of other ritual deck, maybe it'll see play in BLS, who knows, but I'm surprised it's a secret rare. Grey Horde ahead of is a common. I honestly expected this card to be an ultra rare minimum. The fact that it's a common means that Konami wants everyone to have one, so, and it's not short printed either, which is really nice, because you can get your hands on them pretty easily. Especially with Blackhorn's recent errata. Yes, your opponent gets to draw a card, but you don't care because they won't be able to attack you that turn. So the fact that you not only, it's sort of kind of like a combination of what Blackhorn of Heaven should have been, and kind of like Swift Scarecrow, because it like pushes them to the battle phase, out of their battle phase, which is really nice, because it means if you blow up all their monsters, they're not going to be attacking you that turn, which is really nice. And some of the Cosmo rarities, Cosmo Strawman's an ultra rare. I think we could kind of tell this from the text. It was going to be an ultra. Dark Destroyer is a secret rare, not entirely surprised. Dogfighter is a super. I believe none of the ships, I'm not surprised in this set we're seeing more ships being rarity bump and being higher rarity, because then I believe both the previous ships, Forerunner and Sliprider, were rares. So probably in the next set we'll see more of these smaller monsters will be the higher rarity ones. We're seeing some of the new Kaiju monsters, and the last I believe all 10 imports for this set are just DDD cards. So in summary, I think Dimensions of Chaos, while I don't know if it's going to be as good as Breakers of Shadows with all the imports Breakers has, and just the good support, and stars like Solemn Notice, it's a pretty decent set. I think that it's, and as far as the choices of the rarities they choose, I think they did a pretty good job this time. It wasn't something like I was really disappointed or anything. I think they did a pretty decent job. Scarlight, some people might be disappointed their Vortex Dragon's not a ghost rare, but Scarlight's a pretty decent choice for the last ghost rare, and I'm obviously I'm a little biased because I like the card and I've got a deck I'm going to play it in, but overall I think Dimension of Chaos is a pretty solid set. I think it's probably a little bit better than Clash Rebellions, but as far as as good as will Breakers be better, it kind of remains to be seen. But nevertheless, I think we're getting a pretty decent set here, so it's not. So anyway, guys, I'd always like to thank you guys for watching today. I really appreciate when you guys watch my videos. Tune on Tuesday, Thursdays, and Fridays for more Yu-Gi-Oh content. If you like what you saw from this video, please subscribe. Or Storm.